Hello, and welcome to Notes in 9. I'm David Leedy from LotusNotebook.com. Episode 8, Tri-State LUG Wrap-Up, or Giving Thanks for the Year of the User Group. Okay, before we get started on the thank you portion of the show, I wanted to talk about Notes in 9 and what's been happening lately. And the biggest change or addition is I've got my own domain finally set up, notesin9.com, and that's going to have all the files. It's going to have a link for an iTunes feed. You're going to be able to see the shows right then and there. I'm not abandoning YouTube, but if the occasion comes that I want to have a longer than 10-minute show, at least have a place to put it now. So I was able to do this. Really, I got a lot of help from Chris Miller and his new Spiked Studio Productions, which is a podcasting network for niche podcasts. So I'm very happy to affiliate with them and get some assistance on the back end and work with Chris on this and future ideas. I recently was at Lotus Education Online, and I did two online webinars on XPages. We might repeat them, so keep an eye out for leonline.net, or I'll post it on the blog if that does happen. I also recently spoke at the Tri-State LUG on XPages, so that was a lot of fun, and I appreciate everyone who showed up. And then the best news of late is I was accepted to speak at Lotusphere with the great Declan Lynch from QTZAR.com, and we're going to do a session on XPages with CSS and themes. So hopefully that will be a lot of fun. In XPage's Happenings, we have to mention Taking Notes. They reached their 100th show, and the topic happened to be on XPages, but just getting to 100 was a great accomplishment, so big old congratulations to Bruce and Julian. Another big happening was XTalk, which is an application of a bulletin board forum written in XPages from Declan Lynch, was released to OpenNTF. That's worth checking out, as is an XPages name picker by Julian Buss, who does the XPagesWiki.com, a wonderful site. So those are two great applications that you might want to pick apart and start looking at. Okay, Tri-State LUG just happened in New York a couple weeks ago, and Bob Picciano, the general manager of Lotus, was there giving the keynote session. It was an extremely well-run event. It was very well attended for a first-time event, and a big thanks goes out to Mitch Cohen, Kathleen McGivney, Jim Casal. Adam is Kathleen's wife and a really cool guy, and everyone else who helped pull that show off. So thank you for that. That was a lot of fun. I got to talk about XPages in a session called XPages after the introduction. And I was only corrected once by John Head, who happened to be in the room, but it wasn't XPage related. It was something to do with the Java URLs, so I feel pretty good about that. So thanks again for everyone who showed up. Now, the point of this show is giving thanks. I wanted to thank specifically the sponsors of not only the Tri-State LUG user group, but all the user groups who you can't have, UK LUG, you can't have, the St. Louis LUG, IM LUG without sponsors. And for Tri-State, we had three great sponsors: GSX, Mainsoft, and TeamStudio. And no, I'm not being paid for this. I'm just honestly just giving them a thanks. GSX Groupware Solutions was there. Now they have administration tools. Their biggest seems to be GSX Monitor, and what this seems to do, and I'm not an admin here, but it looks like you can actually have one screen to monitor your Domino, Same Time, BlackBerry, and even Exchange servers from this central location. So that's, it doesn't get much better than that if you're an admin, I wouldn't think. I'm glad I'm not an admin. Server Guard is another big one they have, and this has to do with automated server maintenance things for rebooting your servers and running tasks at the right time, and very powerful things that you can't get with just Domino out of the box. And the other big one that I kind of liked was ID Manager, which is kind of like ID Vault before there was an ID Vault. So if you want to maintain IDs, GSX has a product for that. Mainsoft, now I talked to Mainsoft and Lotusphere of 2009, and they do a lot of stuff with SharePoint integrations. And if you're dealing with SharePoint and you want to kind of defend your domino investment and get the most value out of these things working together, Mainsoft has solutions to do that. In this screenshot, you can see SharePoint on the right-hand side, and you're reaching in and getting a file and putting that right into a Notes email. So if you're dealing with SharePoint, Mainsoft is the people you want to talk to. Last but certainly not least is TeamStudio, and I know the most about TeamStudio because I use 4 of their products right here. Check-in and check-out, which mostly is called Chow. Analyzer, Delta, and Configurator I use regularly. Chow is my favorite by far. It's a check-in and check-out program, and even if you're not in a team, and I'm typically not working in a team environment, I still like it for version tracking and recording the history of what's going on. So I can put a comment in, and it's saved against that design element like a form in this case here. And the other thing I like about this is once you have a history of your changes, see the little button down here, Delta? You can see what's different between the current version and maybe an older version. So if you have a regression bug or something's going on there, you can see what's changed. Analyzer is like the DB Synopsis on steroids. It's a great product. The best thing I like about it is the auditing feature. So you can set up these like code standards and these rules, and you can make any rule you want for the most part. And so if you want a certain color in a view or fonts or so, you can make these rules and then apply them to your databases and make sure that you didn't forget anything and that your standards are being followed. So that's really kind of cool to do. Configurator is like a global search and replace for Notes, so you can fix hard-coded references. I like to use it to find where code is used. So if I got a function in a subroutine, or I mean a function in a script library, and I'm modifying it, I want to know where it's being called from. Here's an example of changing one server name to another server name. But they should know that we should never hard-code server names. Right? You're not hard-coding your server name, are you? I hope not. Okay, and Delta. Delta is basically you take 2 databases and it tells you what's different between them. So if you've got a production database and a development database and you're not sure what all has changed, Delta can tell you that. Or if you have a new mail template and you want to see what's been changed in the new mail template, it can tell you that. Okay, TeamStudio has several other products. They've got Design Manager, which I've lusted after for quite a while actually, and that's a kind of code snippet storage repository and commonly used design elements. Profiler is like an agent kind of watchdog to see how your agent is written and performing. Script Coach is like starter routines for the new dev. Auditor Filters is used with Analyzer and kind of gives you a head start on creating your customized rules. Build Manager is a promotion path product, and they've got a bunch more, and they even have admin tools. Okay, so that's my show. Again, I want to say thank you to not only those vendors, but the other vendors who sponsor not only the user groups, but Lotusphere. And if you have any need, I highly recommend you check them out. If you need to talk to me, here's my information, and I thank you for your time.